And joining us at this time is a gentleman who we have in a 135-pound title fight. This Saturday, Watertown is the destination, Watertown, New York. The Fairgrounds Arena. Fights start at 7. This gentleman will be in the Bantamweight Championship fight. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us one more time is Robbie Bellemare. How we doing, Robbie?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure to have you on. So, it's one of those things where opportunity knocks on the door, and in this fight game, you have to answer. And if you can't, then somebody else will. And this is how you found yourself in one of the biggest fights of your career. Talk to us about how this opportunity came to you.
Honestly, it didn't even come to my door. Like, I went to its door. I didn't see an opening for a title shot. I felt the urge to get right back in there after that Kyle Kaler fight. And I messaged on Gibbons to be on that card, and it turned out that there was a fucking injury and a health condition that forced the initial challenger and the champion out of the fight. So now they have two guys with negative records fighting for a belt. Yeah. But, like you said, opportunity opens up. Take it.
Well, it's one of those things. I guess I should revise my prior statement and say, this is in the fight game, make your own fucking opportunity. That's how it works, I guess.
I didn't think it'd be like that. I was just hoping to get a fight. That's it.
Don't wait for the knock on the door. Go find the door and kick it the fuck in. There's the advice. All right, I like it. Now, we saw one hell of a fight your last time out, Cage Wars 41. It was almost fight of the night. I hate to break that to you. It was very close contender for fight of the night. You went in there and put on a 3-round war and came up on the short side of a decision. What adjustments do we make heading into this fight to make sure that doesn't happen?
The circumstances I'm given in this one are completely different. It's at a lower weight. Kyle Kaler was 5'11", I believe. This guy is 5'6", I believe. So it's a 5-inch difference in height. So I will most likely be able to control the range fairly easily. Taking this guy down should be much easier than taking down a guy like Kyle Kaler, who is bigger, has great wrestling partners to work with. As for my game, I'm trying to improve everywhere. Like, there's not a single aspect that I don't feel like I don't need improvement. I need to improve everything. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about. Like, since you are like very young, you're still 22 right now, so 22 years old. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are the things that you want to improve the most? Are you trying to be more of a striker or a grappler, or just go overall stuff and just try to be the best at every aspect of the game?
I definitely have a tendency to enjoy striking more, but I enjoy it all, and I really want to follow Bruce Lee's philosophy, man. Like, you want to be able to adapt as much as possible. You don't want to ever get into patterns and stuff like that. So I feel like every time they see me fight, I'm gonna look almost like a different fighter. There's always gonna be little hints of the same, but always big differences. And you can see that watching my fight versus Davey and watching Kyle. It looks like a different guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. You definitely were a lot more willing to throw hands. It seemed like your hands were a little heavier this time around versus when you fought Davey. And that was the biggest difference I saw. You seemed a lot more confident on your feet. So not only are you improving as you move forward, but you seem to be getting more confident in yourself as well. Now, how do you make those improvements in your confidence? Is there something you do, or is that just happening as it goes?
It's kind of odd if you think about it, because I come off of these losses more confident than when I went in. It's because just feeling it, every time I feel it in there and I actually get the feel for it, I feel like, man, like I belong more and more. So just the comfort level really leads to it all.
And how long would you say, this is one of the fan questions, how long would you say that it takes you to get comfortable in a fight?
I get comfortable right off the bat sometimes, but sometimes it takes me about a minute.
It's kind of a weird question because every fight's different, and in that aspect, I guess. You got to feel out every opponent in their own way. What are some of the things that started to draw you to the sport? Another fan question.
I mean, like, unfortunately, almost like having it forced on me growing up, like just fighting surrounded my whole upbringing, and then having a older brother who's really into it. He used to beat my ass and forced me to train and box with him and stuff. It was just always right there, and then I just found like my natural tendencies and my lifestyle. It all kind of like it just made sense, you know.
Yeah. And for reaching that level that you want to reach, like being overall like great at every aspect, and what's your training routine? Do you spar a lot? What's your training routine?
I spar once or twice a week. Lately, It's been twice. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I spar about once or twice a week. I grapple about 3 times a week. After this fight, some changes are happening. Like I'm gonna have my own vehicle, so I'll be able to go more places when I want instead of being stuck with what's convenient. Not that I'm not happy with where I train or the people I get to train with. I have some great people around me. Just working on everything, working with partners with different backgrounds who can help you in different ways. And conditioning obviously is important. I push myself. I just push and push and push.
Yeah.
Now, 2 questions here. One of them's a really good one that came from a fan. I'm going to ask that one next. But your last win came on the Victory platform. Does that give you some form of confidence heading into this?
I'm not really superstitious, so it doesn't really mean that much to me. But it's nice to know I'm going to be right back in the same arena, I believe. And 135, man, that's the weight class I should be at. That's what really matters. These 145ers, they're all over 160. Some of them over 170. I'm fucking 150 when I'm not in proper shape. You know?
No, I hear you. That's about my size as well. Now, would you ever make the cut down to flyweight?
No, I would not even. Man, there's a reason why I was fighting at 145. I hate this shit.
How's the weight cut going right now?
Oh, it's easy. I'm just starting a water load today. So the shitty part will be the next 2 or 3 days.
And then the fan question that I found interesting. They noticed that you've only fought on home soil 1 time so far in your career. Is there something that you like about fighting away from home? And do you plan to fight more in Canada in the future?
If I go pro, I can do that whenever, but amateur got banned in Ontario, which is why I have not done that again. Preferably, I'd like to be as close to home as possible always. And I have 2 fights in Ontario, by the way. One is not on record. There were a lot of funny stipulations going on.
Yeah.
Now talk to us about that fight. Now, why is that not on record?
I had an opponent change on the day of the fight. It was a Muay Thai event. We were the only MMA fight on the card. I don't even think it was legally sanctioned. The opponent I thought I was going to fight didn't show up. I looked at the name on the sheet. It's another guy. It's a day of fight weigh-in, too. So this guy came in 11 pounds over the catch weight. I was fighting at 150 pounds, by the way, a catch weight. So, like, I was out of shape for that one. And this guy came in 11 pounds overweight. They made him cut a few more, so he got down to 157 or something. And then I said, whatever, let's just fight. Like, I don't care. And then he tapped me out with a triangle choke in the second round, but it was in a ring, this fight. And when a ring fight is in the ropes and the referee centers you into the center of the ring, it's a halt in action. But when he had the triangle choke on me, when the referee is moving us to the center, that's when he readjusted the choke. So, you know, I'd like to rematch everybody I fought. I'm not trying to make excuses, but it was just a odd one. Yeah. A lot of odd things. So the promoter didn't even document it.
So realistically, that would have been changed, you know, had that gone on record, it would have been overturned to a no contest due to the readjustment.
If I made a fuss about it and
Well,
I don't think I would have made a fuss about it.
Based on
I
what
shouldn't
you're
have gotten that
telling
close in the
me,
first place.
based on what you're telling me, it would be overturned because of a rule violation.
Yeah, I believe you'd have to do what's it called? An appeal. I'd have to appeal it though, right?
Yeah, and there'd have to be like video. That's the other thing too.
There is video. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
All right, there you go. So then you would, if it was on record, you'd go in there, you'd show them that, and piss them on a little bit, and maybe they overturn it, maybe they don't. It all depends on the mood they're in that day.
No disrespect intended, though, because that guy who I fought in that fight, I'll probably be training with him in a year from now when I move up north.
Oh, there you go. Oh, up north farther.
Yeah, man. Sadly.
Sadly? Why? Where are you going?
No, fuck the cold.
Oh, dude, I'm with you. Oh, we had.
So about the weight cut, you said that it's pretty easy right now. So what's your diet like? What do you eat? What do you don't eat?
I'm on a plant-based diet day-to-day basis. Come fight week with a weight cut ahead of me, I have to cut out salt. I have to really reduce fruit intake. Like, I'm about to eat a kiwi right now, and then that's about it probably for fruit until after. Maybe some blueberries. I don't know, just lots of nuts, seeds, veggies, raw, fucking plants, man. I'm a plant man.
Told you gotta stick with that, dude. Like,
hey, there's another guy who fought at Cage Wars called Soy Boy.
That's what I mean. Like, but you're the plant man.
I like it better, though.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm glad that's sticking. Like, I'm glad that's sticking. If there's one thing I've ever done in my life that I can be proud of, it was being stoned and calling you the plant man at the end of an interview. I'll take that as a win. Like that and being a father, I'll put those in the win column. All right.
Accomplishments.
Yeah, dude. Right? Like I'm doing okay. You know. Fuck it. Like. Yeah, what have you done, Waleed? Like, you ain't giving nobody a nickname that's stuck.
No, not yet.
Yeah, Wally, fucking. Oh my goodness, we're falling apart. Now.
Hey, can you get Cody Dickershot on this shit?
I might be able to. I'd have to send him a message and see if we couldn't get him last minute. Why, is there some trash you want to talk, or?
No, nothing personal. Just like let's fight Cage Wars 42 June 29th. As long as I don't get injured this weekend.
Let me send out that message. Waleed, why don't you can take over for just a second? I'm gonna see what I can do here.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask you about like what are your plans for your future, like for the next 3 years? Like I believe your plans is to going pro, right?
Yeah, hopefully by the new year I'd like to go pro. I'd like to get a 3-fight win streak at least in amateur, make my record positive, and then go pro. Outside of fighting, I am moving and gonna start working with my brother, carpentry, construction type stuff. So I'll be making more money as well.
That's good. But like,
I'm just popping some pills right now, some supplements, you know.
Yeah.
Melatonin. Got to get to sleep early.
Yeah. So before going pro, do you think like you have to do the more amateur fight like as you can get before like your MMA record really good stayed like amateur MMA record like not that like it's not very heavy, like even if you have more losses than wins, like it's just amateur, like it's a learning process. So do you mind if you don't have more wins than losses in your MMA career, in your MMA amateur career?
Doesn't matter. I'd like to get paid right away. Like if this fight was pro, I'd be much happier.
Yeah.
Like if I got an opportunity to step in on a pro short notice, fucking 5 days notice, I'd jump on it. Any day.
Any day. So, and for where do you train right now? Like you said that you are maybe moving north. Like where will you be training soon?
There's a few places up north, like Muskoka Kickboxing, where Kyle the Monster Nelson, who is in the UFC currently, he fights out of there. Chester Colson, the guy who beat me in my second fight, beat me. He trains over there. There's a few other really good guys there. There's a few gyms in the area. When I have my own car and more money from that work, I could go to Parabellum MMA in Oakville more often. There's a lot of good places, and I have a lot of good connections around here. So.
Yeah. And do you want to to fight again in Cage Wars and have more wins, like to really to have more wins than losses at Cage Wars?
Sure. My plan right now is to win this fight as injury-free as possible, jump right back in there. Cage Wars 42, June 29th. Hopefully Cody Dickershot at 135. And then August, there's an event in Watertown again. They want me to defend that title. And then I'll probably close the year on that November card for Cage Wars. So it's another 4 fights this year, if all goes to plan.
So that's as many fights as you can have. So, and for the injury-free parts, like you said, you spar 2 times a week. Do you think there's risk for injury for that, or do you think that's a risk that you have to take in your early career?
Well, you definitely want to be intelligent with the sparring. Hopefully, use experienced partners. Try not to go out there trying to give each other brain damage. You're trying to learn and experiment and get in a flow with the things you've been working on, not go in there and be the tough guy, right? So it's about sparring right.
Okay.
I spar every day with the right people.
Yeah, so it's not about how many sparring you have, it's more about the quality of the sparring, right?
Yeah, my sparring's my favorite training. You just need the right people.
And do you mix it up from a fighting style? Like you try to do sparring with jiu-jitsu guys and grapplers and boxers? Yeah, and that's good. So Ben, where are you?
I've sent the message. He hasn't been active in a little while, so I don't know if we're going to be able to reach him, but, we'll kind of see what happens. And, if he responds to me by the time we're done with the interview, then we'll go from there. Let's see what happens. But now, what is your average day in the gym like?
An average day today, I was off work, so I had from fucking the moment I woke up till I go to bed to do whatever I want. So I did yoga at home. I did some core exercises at home. Then I went to the gym in the afternoon and did a leg workout and some bike work. And then I went to the gym about an hour and a half ago for some upper body lifting and more bike work. So that's today. My average day in the gym. I try to get 2 gym sessions in every day. I don't know where else to go with that.
Yeah.
What do you do in those 2 sessions?
Train.
So who are the fighters you look up to when you start doing your MMA career? Who are the fighters that really inspire you?
Nick Diaz was the first. Because of his rivalry with GSP, I wasn't the biggest GSP fan for a while, but I really...
For a Canadian, that's weird.
I know, right? But I really gained appreciation for George St. Pierre over time. Anderson Silva, I loved Anderson Silva. I was a big fan of Conor, especially his fighting style when he first came in the UFC. His fighting style, he brings entertainment. It's fun, always fun with him. Mostly strikers. But GSP is the one where I feel him, his coaching, you can learn so much from all that. So much brilliance involved.
Yeah.
And what are your grappling credentials like?
I mean, I'm a white belt as far as any ranking systems go, but I'll tap out brown belts, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they're my size, I don't care what belt they are. I can tap out just about anybody, I think.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Now, what's your favorite submission?
Ooh. Do you want my favorite or my best?
Both. Fuck it. Let's go with both.
Well, I really like shit that looks cool and is creative,
Oh,
so
there you go.
let's go with the Goga Plata or the Oma Plata as my favorite. My best and most effective is either the arm triangle or the arm bar, I'd say.
Now, why are those your favorites?
The Goga Plata and the Oma Plata, like, they just look really cool, man. Like, when Nick Diaz threw up that Goga Plata on Takanori Gomi, like, I was in awe. I was like, yo, this is like fucking art. This is magic. Like, holy.
Yeah.
So it just looks awesome. The Oma Plata is one of the coolest looking things ever. Just the whole, like, jiu-jitsu's art, man. I just love it all.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of the game. You know, the people are always bitching about, stand them up. They're not doing anything. Like, do you know what they're trying to do? Like, do you understand? Like, it's literally human chess when they're grappling.
Mm-hmm.
It's only you're working for. I mean, sometimes I'll give you that. Sometimes you get the lazy people, but more times than not, they're trying to improve position. It's two snakes trying to kill each other essentially.
Exactly.
Now, we are trying to get this to work out. I'm hoping to God that he will be able to... he has seen the message. We are trying to figure out how to get him on.
Yeah. So we will have a fight like it's the first one like in our show like to have a fight, and we are making a fight in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why Cody Dickershade?
He fought Kyle before me, and I remember Kyle predicted another first round annihilation, and I said right away, like, my reaction was like, look, I'm no fucking Jeff Taylor or Cody Dickershade. When Davey Doolin beat me, we talked after. He was a really cool guy, Davey's a great guy. And he gave me advice to go back down to 135, where I should be, and ask for a fight with someone like Cody Dickershade because he thinks the matchup is a good, fun one, and that I could win that with the right game plan. So, and I just see he's a fun fighter, man. Like, the way he fights, it'll be fun as long as it lasts. But when Kyle fought him, everything Kyle touched him with seemed to stun him, whereas I shook off Kyle's shots.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no disrespect.
We're trying to talk him into it. We might be able to get him.
Just let him know I'm a nice guy.
Well, apparently he has moved to Florida, so you want to fight him, you got to go down there.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's not going to work. Unless I'm getting my plane paid for and shit.
Dude, you never know. Sometimes you get the right promoter, man. They'll pay for your ticket. You can get...
John Gibbon, very good with that. He gives the hotel as well as some travel money to me coming from Canada, so thankful for that, as always.
Oh, there you go.
That would be good fighting in Florida. Like, I think you have enough cold in Canada. Like, go to Florida, like, it's more sunny. It's better, I believe.
Now, unfortunately, we caught him at a bad time, so we're not going to be able to get him to come on. I don't think that fight will come to fruition, honestly.
Oh, well.
I don't think he wants it.
Much respect to him.
Yeah, I understand. You moved to Florida. You don't want to come back to New York, especially with it being fucking New York. I mean, I'm with him.
Yeah.
No hate on him there.
Whatever, I'll be asking for a fight at 135, Cage Wars 42, regardless, as long as I'm alright.
Now, do you have any names in mind for that?
I mean, Mike Doolin is always one that comes to mind.
Now, why Mike Doolin?
I mean, when I fought Davey, there's a whole fucking controversy, like, kind of like a beef online beforehand that Mike Doolin started all of it, and then he, like, cowers out and he's like, oh, my brother will fight you. It's like, oh, okay. So I ended up fighting Davey, the bigger, older brother, at a bigger weight class. Whereas me and Mike both have a win by the same submission hold over the same guy at 135. So it's like, that should have happened.
Yeah. That's fight, man. That makes sense.
So is that your way of calling out Mike Doolin?
For sure. 135. Let's do it. I can't make 125. Let's stop dehydrating ourselves as skeleton people, man. Shit ain't
Yeah.
healthy.
There
He
you
looks
go.
sucked in. When he goes to 125, he does look sucked in. I know he can do it. People can do crazy shit with this weight cut and shit, but it's not good for you in the long run. Like 135, man. It's not even 10-pound cut for either of us.
Ooh, man, that would be a fun fight to watch. I might have to let Mikey know to listen to this show. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell him, man. Hey, there's a call out on the show. You gotta listen to find it.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna stick to 125. I don't think that one will come to fruition either.
Oh well, man, we can hope and pray for it, right?
I would love it.
That would be
He's
an
another
interesting one.
fun fighter.
Yeah, he is. He's very
I know what he's
entertaining.
gonna do. I know what he's gonna do. Look for that big right.
Oh man, his when he won the flyweight title, he looked impressive. That's one of the things. He dominated that Scott Hartman.
I don't think that guy can fight for shit though.
Who, Scott Hartman?
No.
uh,
he rushed forward into Mike's right hand with his hands outstretched like this and his chin up like this, like coming forward. He didn't know how to move behind his punches, you know. He just like was reaching out and like I don't know what he was doing, and he got put down by a big right hand.
yeah, and then he got mauled.
Yeah.
It was just a mismatch in opponents, is what that was. I think you versus Mike Doolin would be a very fun fight to watch.
That's a very interesting one. Stylistically great.
Now, we're getting to the point in the interview where I want to give you an opportunity to give shout-outs to friends, family members, sponsors, coaches, training partners, anybody that's really helped you in your MMA journey so far.
I'm gonna first and foremost shout out my cousin Don. He is both my boxing coach as well as my transportation to all these fights, and he's been there in my corner for every single one, start to now. So very grateful for that. Everything he's done, always making trips down from Toronto or trips up from Toronto every weekend to train with me. Grateful to my sensei Gary for always trying to improve my fight IQ, give me little tips here and there, point out little things I could do better, mistakes I'm making, holes in my game. My training partner Joe Roders, who has been like instrumental in all my growth in stand up and the grappling. He's just been a huge help. Richard Content, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Richard, Kelson, Mark, there's so many of them. My family, my girlfriend, my friends, like anyone who supports me,
Yeah.
Just grateful.
And where can the fans find you on social media?
Instagram, just Robbie Bellemare, no space. And that's it. I don't do Twitter.
All
Facebook,
right.
I just have a personal account for now.
For now. We'll get the fighter account going, man. Hit me up. I'll build you one of those. But
I wouldn't feel right doing that unless I paid you.
hey, man, I don't want your money. I don't want fighters' money. I want their success. And if that's one of the ways that you can market yourself, I will gladly do it. I'll make you an admin and relinquish my control, and then you'll have yourself a page. So,
Good man, thank you.
you let me know, man. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to this fight on Saturday, May 11th at the Watertown Fairgrounds Arena, guys. Do not miss it. The Bantamweight Championship is on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Bellemare.